All right, guys. So I actually just want to talk about my class. I'm actually really proud of my participants. I always am proud of my participants, and uh, I'm actually really pleased of the results of the class. Right. So I am selfishly prideful of my work when it comes down to the results for my participants, and as that pride, selfish pride, um, holds true for me, it actually serves a great purpose for them. So by me doing this work and being happy to do great work for them, it actually uh, is reciprocated by them doing well and feeling good in themselves. It's funny. I'm just actually going to talk first about the end of day conversation that we had. It's funny because she's actually kind of turning into a philosopher too, you know, and it's funny that way. I think if I'm talking about philosophy, it's kind of cool because philosophy actually opens you up to new ideas and perspectives, right? Looking at angles that you might have never saw before. But I'm not going to get into philosophy. I'm actually just going to talk about exactly that. And she was saying, how she needs to take care of herself. That's one of the things that she needs to do, right? And we were saying, like that's exactly true, right? I was saying, if I go and I want to clean my house because I want a clean space, me taking care of myself also creates a clean space for my family to enjoy, right? And I said, as much as you want to help someone else without helping yourself, you can't. You're incapable, right? So once you actually go to help yourself, as a byproduct, you're actually helping everyone that's directly in contact and around you. So, and she says she said that that's entirely true, and she's stated like on many occasions that like this fitness has actually saved her life. She was sick and she's even made statements like if she had didn't get into fitness she'd be dying. you know there's been two close deaths, one being her sister that died of a sickness, and she was actually on that route too. um, and yeah, that's one of the things that actually inspires her. And she came from a really sick and ill kind of beginning. When I first interviewed her, I was actually kind of wary about actually working with her because she needs to be medically cleared, right? First of all, and I need to know if there's any sickness or illness that I don't want to be causing more of an issue than fixing an issue, right? So when I first talked to her, she was telling me she had to go to the doctor. She went for just a day walk. Last year her sister was in town, and they just went out of town for a little bit, and they went and walked around the city. They went out to Banff, just out to the mountains there, and she said that she was in pain for a week just from walking. And I looked at her medication, and the medication was anti-inflammation, and I thought, okay, I know how to deal with anti-inflammation. I have a little bit of knowledge based on what I know about anti-inflammation, based on diet, based on exercise, and I said, I'm gonna give her a shot. And really, I told her though, you're gonna have to run, and she said, okay, well, I'll try walking to start. And I was like, I don't know how, I don't know if I could do that, but we'll see. Yeah, maybe we'll walk, or maybe while I'm running the other students, you'll be on a bike. I'll have another coach, and you'll be on a bike, and I'll take the other students on the run. Okay. So, anyways, this class was supposed to have 4 people in there. Okay. So anyway, she had this really bad leg thing that I wasn't too sure of. And again, I'm teaching this course to her because she doesn't speak English that well, which is another cool thing I'm going to talk about. So when we first sat down and I was doing the interview, I couldn't really get what the illness was because I don't know any medical vocabulary in Vietnamese. Vietnamese is my second language. English is my first language. So I was working with what I knew, which was basic conversation. I had no medical vocabulary. So I kind of had to just take a guess and see what her meds were and go from there. So anyways, after that, she really wanted to start, and we had a couple discussions, and actually a couple times even before the class started, she was kind of backing out. She's like, oh, maybe I don't want to do this, and we had a little bit of talk, and I said, you got to, or you're gonna run around in a circle, and yeah. Experiential avoidance. So if you guys want to look up what that is, and that's really the discussion we had, was experiential avoidance, and she knew that that's really what it was, right? And she knew that she had to do the class. So anyways, class started, and of the four, the crazy part is it wasn't the healthy ones that stuck around. It wasn't the young ones that stuck around. It was her. So nobody else is in the class at this point. She's the one that's still doing the class. So that's amazing. You know what I mean? So to me, this is why I believe that everything is mindset, because some people have the advantage but don't pull through. Yet while others have the disadvantage and they pull through, and I've seen it. I've seen it where I went to train for this kind of training, resilience training, mental mindset training. I've seen it there, right beside me. As I was doing it, I would see guys right beside me, left, right, and center. And, I seen guys that were less capable doing more, and the guys that were more capable doing less, So yeah, I know what the human capacity is capable of, right? As long as we can get the mind in the right place. Okay. So anyways, there's videos. I got all these videos, but we had, like I said, we had a long conversation, and she was actually talking very stoic, like stoicism, not stoic as in a being stoic, but like as in stoicism. She was actually like on the run, and she was like, we went for a run. Cold weather now. It's cold weather now. We're practically we're in fall. We're going to be entering winter, but fall is pretty cold here. So we've already got a snowfall once already. And yeah, so we're outside running in cold weather and the rain. And she's like, she actually likes the rain now. She enjoys it. I have a video here. I'll play it in a second. And she's like, I'm not scared of the rain anymore. She enjoys it. She likes it. Right. And she's like saying, as I was running, I was looking at that tree there, and the tree is outside. It gets rained on. It's out in the cold, and there's nothing it can do. It just keeps having to go on. It has to keep living. It has to keep striving, right? It's not like the tree has an opportunity or a chance to complain. It just keeps going. And yeah, so anyways, it's kind of interesting, and that's something like I would hear like a Stoic philosopher say. You know what I mean? Because they would relate things to rocks and whatever, right? So anyways, it's kind of cool. Philosophy is opens your mind to perspectives, and she's seeing different angles. So that's a really cool thing that is occurring. And what's interesting is when she first came, the day would start with complaints. It's very common. That's a common thing. Okay, so they're complaining about maybe an ache or a pain, or they're tired or something, and now she shows up, not a single peep about her complaints about anything. And you'll see our little talk at the end of today's class, which I've recorded a little bit, and a lot of this is impromptu because I don't know what she's gonna say. Sometimes I just turn on the camera and just I'm trying to capture something else, and then she'll say something else, right? So anyways, let's take a look at I'm going to show you guys a before and after too, but let's take a look. Oh yeah, there's that conference. Oh yeah. So anyways, here, this is her, and she's saying like, like I'm not afraid of the rain anymore. I gotta fix the audio on the GoPro. It was raining, so I didn't want to bring the mic out. So the next time I just gotta change the setting on the GoPro, which I didn't. So here we go. Let's play this.
Better.
Yeah. That's good. That's good.
No, enjoy. I enjoy weather.
Yeah.
I'm not scared like before anymore.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, I enjoy the weather.
Nice. Feels nice, right? Feels good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I run, I enjoy it.
Yeah. It's true. Okay, let's go.
I like it. No more scared. No more scared.
Yeah, that's right. No more fear. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so and you'll notice she's holding a 3-pound bar today. She's running weighted. For people that have never ran weighted, it does make a big difference. Like you can see that she was working harder today. She'd switched the bar from arm to arm, but there's one part. Actually, I think I said something about it here. Let's take a look. I think it was right here. No, that's not it. Okay. Across the street. What's this one? Oh, that's a school. Maybe this one. Oh yeah, I'm going to be talking about the fall summit here. All right. With the it keeps cutting out. Oh, well, that sucks because that was a good talk. It was actually me talking about the fall summit, how this is going to be. That bench is the 2-mile point. Signifies 2 miles. I don't know. Fall summit. So I think it ends here. I'm gonna keep going. So this is the funny thing, okay? So fall summit is sometimes okay. So it's cutting out. I'm just gonna explain quickly what that fall summit is. The fall summit is I would normally just tell them where we're going to, and when we get there, they usually have this sense of celebration, and then they want to like stop, turn around, and do whatever, right? So that bench is the benchmark for the 2-mile mark. From that bench and back, it would be 2 miles, and I thought she would be tired. I told her we were gonna keep going. She didn't even phase her. And I guess that setup was backfired, because now that 2 mile is just too easy for her, even with the bar. So that's to see that kind of progression, that's always good to see that they move up to that next level. And we changed the 80 burpees as a class warm up. It is now I made her do 80 push-up to thrusters today before we even went for the weighted run. So everything has been bumped up to another level. So let's take a look here. All right, when you get to that black car, you're gonna go faster, okay? Okay, a little bit faster, just a little bit. When you get to the truck, a little bit faster. You got this. Finish strong. Okay, so she's pushing, and this is another cool thing that happens in the class. Of course, your body is trying to get oxygen, right? So, but anyways, at this stage, her body is far better at recovery.
Just stand over there. All right. Good job. Big breath in.
Okay. You see, compared to the first class, holy man, she'd be panting like she's dying, right? So she goes from a heavy breathing to a recovered state very quickly. What I find really interesting is the ability to recover really fast. The breathing's not heavy anymore. Okay, even after pushing whatever gas she had left at the end, she's breathing fairly regular in comparison to the beginning. So big difference, big difference.
I look everywhere.
Yeah.
I enjoy the weather, raining.
Yeah, that's right.
I enjoy to see the birds, right?
Yeah.
The tree,
Yeah.
for the leaf and the
Yeah.
flower, and the sound from the water go to the, how you say?
Yeah, to the sewer and stuff. Yeah.
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 And I listen, and when I run,
Yeah. The
and the
feet.
sound
Yeah.
of the feet
Yeah.
look like the music.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
Yeah.
amazing.
See, that's kind of like the mind, right? If you focus on, so cold and wet is like the bad.
Yeah.
So if you focus on the cold and wet, then it's very hard. But when you focus on the good,
Yes.
then you can work better,
Yeah.
right? It's very
Oh.
good. Very good.
No more too scary.
Yeah, that's right.
Now I'm okay with it.
Yeah, that's right. High five.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So that's that. Yeah, normally she's like on a typical day when, especially in the beginning when we started, like I'll show you how it ended on back then when we did this class. So I think this was her making it back. All right. So it's a little loud. I'm gonna turn that down. All right. "35 minutes. You just 2.08 miles. 35 minutes. And you got to remember that this was barely a run. She would literally get a block and a half, and she didn't even run. All right. So now she's running with a bar. She's doing the whole thing, and her recovery time is quick. She'd probably be ready to go again. So what's cool and what's interesting about this class is that at this point of the class, there's almost like nothing I could do to get her to quit. I could tell her to work out for 3 hours straight. She will do it, right? So there's at this point the mindset, the physical preparation, her way of thinking is gonna get her through anything that I throw at her at this point in this class. So at this point now, the focus is to continue to strengthen that mindset, because quite frankly, the physical aspect is actually a lot easier than the mind. The mind is invisible, right? The body is the physical. We can push the body, we can train the body, we can make the body faster, but can you psychologically maintain a strong position in your mind consistently on a daily basis and carry that with you once you leave, so on and so forth? That's a challenge, right? So yeah, anything I can give her physically now is not going to get her to quit. There's no quitting from here for her. She won't. We did that run. Oh, I guess, well, the sound was off, but I did talk about that on that one video where I was talking about the fall summit, and I was saying how at this point there's no quitting, right? Even if I gave her the fall summit, it doesn't matter. She won't stop. And I said that right there because I know the results are very predictable. I know at this point, even if I didn't tell her to run, I didn't push her at all on that run, right? And she pushed herself mentally, psychologically, right? So if you guys watched my video before, and I'm doing a 3-hour grinder, I have to physically and mentally motivate and push myself, right? So, and I've done other things like I said, running in -30 weather, carrying 50 pounds, running running to work over 5 kilometers and running back from work over 5 kilometers with 50 pounds. So like I had to self motivate myself to do that stuff, and I was given that ability to learn how to do that, and that's exactly what I'm sharing. It's not so much physical. So a lot of times people are thinking, oh, this class is just like personal training class, and I can tell you it's far more than a personal training class, because I'm giving what I was taught, right? And quite frankly, where I went, I actually kind of had the same idea. I'm like, I want to go get that mental toughness just by surviving a hard physical challenge. And then you realize it's not just about the physical, which they teach you. And quite honestly, I don't think I would have survived without that mental aspect, because they taught us, you have a moment to rest. And every time I had a moment to rest, when it was hard for me, I sat down and I did the things, the exercises that they told me when I had that little break, and I did it, and my mind would reset and I was ready to go again. Right. So that's the kind of things that I'm kind of presenting here. So yeah. So anyways, there's a couple things I want to show, but I don't have a before, right? But I do have photos. Not of us before, but it was just photos. So let's just take a look at some of the photos. And I want to show you, today she was actually really, really pleased. So this is what she typically look like. She's relaxed here, taking a picture. Right, so we can see there's a lot more roundness in the face. So let's pull up her. This is today. I just took this today. So like you can see, even just the facial structure is different, right? Just look at that. And so let's pull up another one. Not really, but you can see the physical change. Yeah, and typically when you're training weight loss, the first place you're going to see it is in the face. So you can clearly see that in the face there. Right, so yeah, completely different. So that's the side. Let's do this. That's the side shot. I have another side shot here. So again, this is just taken just today. Right, so you can see the physical difference. And I actually filmed her calves today, because I'm like, wow, those are actually popping. Like you can actually see shape in her legs, and this is all coming from running. I was looking at some of the other videos of her legs before, and her legs look like literally like tubes. So you can see everything kind of coming together. And I've talked about this in another video, and I talk about how weight loss really comes down to just proper eating and proper training. If you're eating the correct way and you're training the correct way, your body is going to have to be forced to adapt to the stimulus that is applied. And it's actually a very basic, personal training principle, of adaptation, right? So, and a lot of people, try to justify not being able to do it by going against these principles that are actually proven. Your body adapts to the way it's used, right? So, and clearly, having a class that started off as 4, and the one that was sick and ill, is the one that sustained, tells a really different kind of story, right? So that's that. Again, I love what I do. I love this mental resilience stuff. I love fitness, but I actually love mental resilience more. And you'll see when you go to my posts, you'll see that I post a lot of philosophy myself. I love learning philosophy and mindset and stuff like that. And on top of that, I love learning fitness. So this is kind of a little perfect blend of what I enjoy. But this whole thing, all these videos of the class. So this is actually the 3rd class. I had a prototype class in the beginning. I actually ran my wife and my mother through, my nephew, and even family members quit. My wife actually did it. My mom did it. Those two actually finished. But you have family members quit, and yeah, surprisingly, because I have small classes, it usually ends up being anywhere from 4 to 6 people for the classes I've done, and quite frankly, it usually ends up with 1. So, but again, when thinking back at it, it's usually the ones that are at a disadvantage that actually stick around. As crazy as that sounds, but I've been studying value and meaning. This is gonna be a quick shot. I'm gonna end it right after this, but I've been studying about value and meaning, and I think the ones that are at a disadvantage have more meaning. They have more at stake to lose by not finishing the class. You know what I mean? So it's kind of an interesting theory. And like I said, I use theories, statistics structured by ratio, stuff like that, and the results are fairly predictable. So once this class is done, I'm going to put together a video of the whole class. I will be running this class semi-annually. So if you guys have any questions about this class, the full course is actually a year long, but I take in new participants every 6 months. You can't just jump in anywhere in between that time. So you actually have to start at one of the start dates. So if you guys are interested in participating in one of the class, go ahead and just message me. Leave a comment if you want or whatever. And yeah, so you have to be local, obviously, in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And if you're local there, and you're interested in a class, let me know, and we can discuss a consultation. And yeah, and if you're thinking this is personal training, I would say it's beyond personal training, far beyond it. All right, take care, guys. See you later.